And it's live. Hello, Facebook friends. Nobody signed in yet, so it'll actually put a little number up here and tell you who's here. But it is recording, so people will see this part of it. But anyway, this is Jonathan Harmon with J. Harmon Home Team with Keller Williams, here with my good friend Ginny Williams from Gill's Ace Hardware. So Ginny and I have known each other at least sort of for a long time. I went to school with her daughter Heather, and anyway, so met her several times that way, gotten to know her through Rotary even more so, and discovered just how fantastic of a human being you are, because she is a pretty fantastic human being, and humble. You see the head shake going there right there. But anyway, so Ginny is I would say one of the patron saints of the town of Smyrna, and she's done pretty much everything in town of Smyrna as far as organizations and philanthropies and things like that. And you own Gill's Ace Hardware. How long have you owned Gill's Ace Hardware?
It was started in 1975. My dad, Gil Olerud, we call it Gill's though, because Olerud's too hard to pronounce. And my first husband, Bob Lee, started in 1975.
Wow.
So, but we go back further than that in retailing in Smyrna.
So that's interesting. I guess I never picked up the Gill part of that. So how did it become known as Gillsville?
Gillsville, that's a good one. My dad started out in the grocery business in 1953, and actually stationed here, Stewart Air Force Base, like so many people in Smyrna. And there's still people here and families here, and people met each other and married. You know, there might have been like a civilian married somebody who was in the Air Force, and they're still settling here, and second, third generations are coming on now. But my dad and mom were stationed here in 1953, and the week I was born, my dad bought the little grocery store from Mr. Gamble.
Okay.
And this is the interesting story. Mr. Gamble won the grocery store, a little country market, two little gas pumps out front, and then these little cabins behind there. It's also known as Hale's Camp. If you MapQuest it, it still says Hale's Camp.
I've seen that.
Okay, and people wonder, what's that? Well, Mr. Jim Hale owned it, and he was playing poker with Mr. Gamble, and he lost it.
Oh, no.
Isn't that a crazy story? So Greg Tucker, who is the county historian, has a book, Remembering Rutherford. He actually has 4 books, and I sell those books at the hardware store because I love history, and especially the history of Smyrna. And you know, you're promoting history in Smyrna right now, talking about things that happened in Smyrna a long time ago. And so anyway, so my dad was in the grocery business, and then he grew the grocery store. He tore that down, built another little store on the same corner. It's at 101 Gill Street and Jefferson Pike there. And then he added to that, and then in 1972 he came across the street and he built the shopping center. We had an 18,000 square foot grocery store there. So that was 73, that grocery store opened. In 75, the hardware store opened on the other side of the shopping center, the Jefferson Pike side. Anyway, so
it's just been nicknamed Gillsville, huh?
Gillsville. So the rest of the story, so Nissan Drive was called Sam Davis Road. It was a little 2-lane road, and my parents lived like less than a half a mile from the shopping center, and so there was more of a hill there before they built the road. And a sign painter. My dad was a great promoter. My dad was a great man, and my mom too. He couldn't have done it without my mom. They were a team. She was the down-to-earth, financial, pay-the-bills person, and he was the promoter, the marketing, the personality. Yes, the personality, meeting the customers, and he loved people. He was a people person. I'll tell you what, he died in 1980 of a massive heart attack. Yeah, he's 57 years old. Died way too young. We weren't ready to let him go, but it's like a punch in the stomach kind of. I think I was 26, and so, but not a few weeks goes by that somebody does not bring his name up, and somebody did the other day. Trish Nish was saying, I just love your daddy. He was such a people person. He just loved to visit with people and tell stories in the grocery store,
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in retailing, you got to be a people person. You got to love people.
No doubt.
Yeah. But anyway, so then we moved the hardware store we went out of the grocery business in 1984. It was just too hard to be a mom and pop grocery store. But we sold it to a guy, and then he sold it to two guys, and finally the grocery store did go out in 1989. So in 1990, we couldn't get another grocery store to go in there. I was talking to Red Foods in Chattanooga, trying to get another grocery store. I felt like we needed a grocery store right there. There'd been a grocery store, in that vicinity since 1953.
Wow.
Of course, when Food Line opened on Sam Davis Road, now Food Line's gone.
Yeah,
so
there's still no grocery stores over there.
Not on that side of town. And so we moved the the hardware store where the grocery store was. We just built a wall there, and we doubled the size of the hardware store in 1990. Moved on the front side, the Nissan Drive side. And then my husband added 2 feet to the shelving, so we went to 7-foot high shelving, and if we get anything else in there, it's going to have to hang from the ceiling. So it's got a lot of inventory.
Yeah, I love going in there. It feels, so, my parents worked at Cross and Supply forever.
Right, yes.
And
I would tell people, go to Cross. I don't sell lumber, had not sold lumber, building supplies, and of course, us small town businesses,
have each other's back, right?
Yeah.
We got a little pause. When they first started working there, they still had a lot of stuff in the hardware area, and I remember walking through there, and it was this cool smell of dust and nails, and because nails have a smell when they're in bulk, so dust and nails and just
hardware stores have a unique smell.
It's just stuff, and that's gone. It's not the same in Lowe's. It's not the same in Home Depot.
It's too big.
It is, and sterilized.
Ceilings are too tall.
I know. So I love coming into your store, and there's always something unique that you can find. There's always some random. You look at it and go, I wonder what this does. And then you come over and you're like, oh, well, this da 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 da. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
I like gadgets, and there's a lot of gadgets coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of cool flashlights. That's another thing. And a flashlight always makes a great gift. Everybody always needs a flashlight. Like, you can't ever find the flashlight at home when the lights go out. But,
yeah, they're never there when you need them.
Yeah.
But now they're magnetic. You can stick them on the fridge and everything else.
I've got one on my refrigerator, so I know it's sitting right there if somebody doesn't move it.
Right. Well, I have a 6-year-old and an 11-year-old, so stuff always gets moved.
Yeah, they're liable to get moved.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So tell me about... you said your father passed away, and I know that was a punch in the stomach. I'm sure that was traumatic.
It just was. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, and how
unexpected.
When that happened, I'm sure there was a time kind of, okay, what are we going to do now, kind of thing. And how did it evolve into, okay, Ginny's going to run the hardware store, that kind of thing?
Okay, so I'm like you. I'm an MTSU graduate, Smyrna High School graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Got that?
Go Dogs, go Raiders.
Yep. And I majored in education, but I minored in business administration. I, thought about going into teaching, but you don't always stick with what you get trained to do, but you don't. I always cherished my college experience and the friends I made. And
contrary to some people's belief, teachers don't make a whole ton of money. So.
Oh, yeah, they don't. But anyway, so I just didn't want to be a teacher, and nobody should do anything they don't want to do.
Right.
I have lots of friends that are teachers, and I admire them that they can,
Yeah, it's his calling.
Yes, it's definitely a calling. And so I decided to, go back into the family business, which was a grocery business. And I could train there, so I felt like I was teaching there. And I'm still training and teaching in the hardware store. I'm training customers and my employees to do new things,
Well, people seek out your knowledge as much as they do your
materials. You
materials.
really have to know your product.
No doubt.
You know that in your business. You have to know about that house, that.
And financing and...
Yes, and understand what the customer really wants and needs.
For sure.
We're almost in the same business. We're definitely in the customer service business, that's for sure. And you have to be in every business, so
yeah. So you stepped back in. When did you assume the hardware store altogether?
Okay, 4 years old, and I thought, oh, I get to be a full-time mom,
right,
and be off on Saturdays. And I was real active in the Smyrna J sets. We have Smyrna J sets, and I loved the J sets, and I had friends, and we were all still friends, now. And our JCs, we had a real strong JC club and J set club in Smyrna, which there's JCs and J sets no more. I don't even know if they're still in Tennessee anymore.
I don't know. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah.
They used to have a haunted house here.
Oh yes, that was the most fun project to work. That's the project I really enjoyed working on. Yeah, we had so much fun scaring people.
Yeah,
it was right over there where Old Smyrna Hardware was. They had closed the hardware store there and let us use their building. You have to build these sets and everything.
Yeah,
so it was a blast. It was so much fun. But anyway, so then in 1987, so I'd been at the hardware store for about 4 years, and in 1987, my first husband, Bob Lee, Heather's father, he developed kidney cancer, and within 8 months he was gone. And I thought, dang, I'm the boss. I got to be the boss again. I got to, deal with ordering the store, deal with vendors and employees and advertising. And the hardware business is so different from the grocery business. I mean, the grocery business is pretty much self-service. I want that. You stick it in the buggy and then you roll out. It's, big sales and everything moves real fast. Hardware store, everything moves really slow.
Well, there's not really a shelf life on a hammer.
Right, yeah. Not the urgency to sell. Yeah. I like that about the hardware business. Less hours, no perishable items. Well, caulk, spray paint sometimes,
sure.
But not like,
not like
ground
carrots.
beef, and carrots and eggs and milk, yeah. And you have to really know your product. I was a little frustrated because I almost felt like a fish out of water. I had to adapt and adjust. But anybody, you can adapt and adjust. And there's courses you can take. The National Retail Hardware Association. I've never completed the course, but I've taken some of the courses. And of course, the trade magazines, read them. And there's just lots of new things.
But that's you. I mean, from what I just in Rotary and everything else. If you get involved, what I can tell from you, when you get involved in something, you don't do halfway ever. Like
Not usually.
you are completely head first.
Yeah.
Give me everything there is to know about it. I'm gonna take every class there is to know about it. I love that. That's awesome.
Go extreme, don't I?
It's fantastic though, because I know that if Ginny's involved in it, it's going to be done right, and it's going to be educated, and I'm going to learn something.
Thank you.
Right? I mean,
That's
I know
a nice
that.
Compliment. That's the best compliment I've ever gotten. Sometimes when you don't realize some things until somebody tells you.
Yeah.
That's why people should give compliments. Cause
they should, and don't hold back.
And like somebody and tell them something. I never thought of that. Oh, thank you, or I needed that.
Yeah.
Needed that compliment.
So you've been in. We said this early on in this little discussion. You've been involved in everything. I mean, you talked about the J-Sets. Obviously, I know you real well through Rotary. You're involved there. You're involved in the Sam Davis home, in the library, and I mean, just everywhere, all around town. What is
interesting? Yes.
Well, it's awesome, and really, from what I can tell, and tell me if this is true, it really kind of comes down to you love your community.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you feel like you can contribute to something, you do it to serve people in the community.
Well, it's funny, when my husband David worked in Nashville, and he's originally from Murfreesboro, didn't think I would ever marry a Central Tiger. But anyway, the mortal enemy. Oh, I hated this so bad in high school. I was a cheerleader in my senior year, so I really hated it. But anyway, we were looking, we got married, and we were looking for a place to live, and we looked at, Wilson County, Mount Juliet area, so he could be close to work, because he worked for the state of Tennessee. And
that would have been tragic, Ginny.
I know. Well, I finally told him, I said, okay, I need to be close to my business, I feel like. I need to be close to my mother. She was getting on in years. Heather was in high school. She was second year of high school. I said, I don't think I can live anywhere but Smyrna. And he was okay with that. So when we love where we live, we found a house, and we just Yeah, well, where we live, it's close to the harbor, it's close to my mom. So. Yeah, and I'm still in Smyrna.
Yeah.
Of course, I've got my husband into a lot of things too. You know, sometimes he has to help.
Right.
I'll volunteer him for some things.
You voluntold, right?
Yeah, voluntold. There you go.
Yeah,
oh, by the
voluntold.
way, this is what we're going to do.
You're going to be here.
Yeah. I need you to do this.
So what is, in all the different organizations that you've been involved in, what would you say is, and I'm going to ask you to do something that I know you don't want to do, so brag on yourself a little bit, feather in your cap, what is the coolest thing or the thing you're most proud of that you've been involved in?
Okay, so, you know, partly, you know, you love your community and you do things, but there is nothing like the feeling you get. And you know that feeling I'm talking about when you help somebody or when you do something. And I gotta say, probably the thing that, to toot my horn, would be the founding of the Smyrna Food Bank.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you know, when the Nissan plant was being built, I was still in the grocery store, and I had people coming in the grocery store needing food. I mean, we'd never experienced that. And
people that were building the plant, or it attracted people to the community?
It attracted people. People came here, and they didn't have any friends or relatives here to help them, and they thought they were just going to just jump right in and get a job, and it didn't work out for them.
Gotcha.
So we had a lot of people move here, and I never had anybody come in the grocery store and ask for food. Now my dad, I hear stories about my dad that people needed food, and he just
kind of took care of it.
Yeah, he took, and he did a lot.
No fanfare, I'm sure.
No.
Yeah.
Because I've had people come up and said, "Your dad loaned me some money. I would have never been able to buy my house because the bank turned me down."
Yeah.
And I kiddingly, I looked at him and said, "You paid him back, didn't you?"
Is that note due?
Yeah, he did pay that, right? But we were making fun. But you know, you thought, wow, there is a real need for food. There's just a real need for food here. And here I was in the grocery business. I couldn't just give food away, you know. And I suggested to the people, I was trying to help them think of a way they could, you know, well, have you tried this or done this? Because I like to be a problem solver.
Yeah.
And that's part of being in the hardware business, being a problem solver.
No doubt.
And I said, well, you know, they got a Rutherford County Food Bank in Murfreesboro. Now, how do you think I can get to Murfreesboro to get food? I have no money at all. I have no gas money.
Right.
I didn't even have a car, you know. And I said, oh, good point. Well, Patsy and Hiram Wright, who were with the Wary Housing Cooperative, Patsy's gone, and Hiram may be gone too. He moved to Florida. They were stationed here with the Air Base too. Just a beautiful black couple. In their heart, they want to start a food bank at Wary Housing. And you know, there's an organization there now called Community Service.
Yep.
That does great work, and they're kind of an offshoot maybe of the Wary Housing Cooperative. So it was Patsy and Hiram Wright's, their idea, and they came to me and asked if I would be the chairman, first chairman of the committee. And I said, yes, we've got a need. We need to do that. You're right, we need to do that. So we struggled along, and Carolyn Peebles was the first treasurer. So yeah. But Carolyn and I had probably met each other a few years earlier in the American Business Women's Association, and I'm so glad she's part of Rotary.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's awesome,
and she's part of Rotary, and
an extremely active and vital part of our Rotary Club.
Yes, and so active in her church. I mean, the Back to School Bash.
Oh, that CDC thing is amazing.
Yeah, she organized that. She is a great organizer. So we were kind of like the dynamic duo. And you know what? She was the first president of the Friends of Smyrna Library, and I think I was the treasurer. So we switched roles.
Awesome.
Yeah, we switched roles. Or I might have been the secretary.
Another patron saint of Smyrna right there.
Right there, yes, exactly. There's a lot of them. And, but anyway, so we struggled along, first trying to, you have to recruit, there's a lot of things going on. You had to recruit volunteers, you had to make money, you had to get the food. I told him, I said, you're not going to buy food from the grocery store. That's a conflict of interest. I'm real big on I'm not going to be self-serving, and don't do conflict of interest, you know. So I said, I'll get the food, because I think I had a vehicle, like a station wagon, I think is what I had then. And so I'd go down to Save-A-Lot, which was on this side of Murfreesboro, and I'd buy cases of food. And I kind of had an idea what people might, my grocery bag around, what they might need. And I remember unloading it, and somebody said, "How can you do it?" I said, "This is my aerobics." I was real young back then. I was probably 30-something, maybe. And maybe late 20s. I don't know, I have to look at that. But anyway, so, but it's just so hard to do we'd have these dances, and we tried to do different things. I can't remember what all we did, but it's just so hard to do all of that, And I said, you know what? And it may have been Carolyn came up with this. We thought, we need to join United Way, become one of their agencies.
Yeah.
Member agency, that's what they call it. And somebody said, well, we don't want them telling us what to do. And I said, you know what? We can't do all this. This is what we're going to have to do. Well, what about all the paperwork? And I said, well, I'm good with paperwork. I can do the paperwork. But I said, plus we need to know who we're serving and why they're here. And we need statistics, And that's what they demand, United Way. They want to see figures.
And they've done it before.
Yes.
So it's almost like franchising in a way. They're going to give you some guidance.
Yeah. So and I'll tell you what, in looking at those applications and seeing the reasons people need food, it was just a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
And I realized how much good we were doing.
That's awesome.
That's the best thing.
It's still going strong?
Yes, and LaDonna Parham now is the director, and I kind of, you kind of get burnt out, and it's somebody else's turn, and I'm a real big believer in things rotating and the dynamics of different
fresh ideas,
people, new circle of friends and acquaintances, getting involved in organizations. I'm real big on that because I think it helps grow an organization.
For sure.
But
and sustain it.
Yes, and sustain it. And I haven't been involved, but I kind of kept up. Oh, who's the director now?
That's your baby.
Oh, yeah, my baby. I go, oh, you moved over there? Oh, you got a bigger place now. Well, LaDonna, she has brought it to a whole. And I was in awe. I knew the lady, Joe Call, that started the Rutherford County Food Bank. She attended St. Rose Catholic Church, and I'm Catholic. And they named the room after her at the church. She was a saint now. That lady was a saint. And, we kind of learned from them how to do things. And but LaDonna has brought in, so the Rutherford County Food Bank and the Smyrna Laverne Food Bank are one organization now.
I didn't know that.
And it's Nourish. It's called Nourish, which is a wonderful name.
Perfect.
And, back then we used Second Harvest Food Bank, and we're still using Second Harvest Food Bank. And it's a beautiful idea to not waste any food.
Yeah.
Because I saw how much food we wasted in the grocery store. It killed my soul to throw away produce and meat, plus the expense of it, but we didn't think about donating it back then,
Yeah, and there's an immediate need for it. So, if it's 2 days or whatever, people will use it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but to know that the food bank is what it is today, it's pretty amazing.
That's fantastic.
Kind of part of that.
And Rotary still supports the food bank.
Oh yes.
So you're still at least somewhat involved there.
And the reason people needed food. Sometimes it went back to lack of education or training, so they couldn't keep a job. A lot of things it was spousal abuse, or could be drugs. One of the breadwinners is in prison for breaking the law. Medical things where they could, and we still have all these problems. We still have all these problems.
And it aggravates me sometimes when I hear people, oh, we don't need to help those people because what if they just buy drugs or whatever? If there's kids involved, and even if there's not, how are they ever going to get past whatever that problem is if they can't even, survive? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yes, that might be true, but if you look at it from a biblical standpoint, did Jesus ever say, I'd help you, but, you're probably just going to go do something bad?
Yeah.
No, he didn't do that.
Good way to look at it, yeah.
So, anyway, it's an interesting thing. So, how long have you been in the Rotary Club? 30 years. And I see your pen up there. Yeah, so tell me about all the little gems in your pen, because I know that's a big deal too, right?
Oh, okay. Well, this is my president's pin.
That's your president's pin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was president in 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the second woman to join Rotary, asked to join by Buster Gentry. He was another great realtor, like you.
Thank you.
And he was a good person. He probably recruited a lot of people. We recruited Regina Moore. She was our first president. And our first female president.
Okay.
She's a great leader too. Been involved in a lot of boards and things. She's retired now. She's in Africa right now. Her husband, yeah, they're traveling, enjoying life.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, good for her.
Yeah, but Rotary. I mean, I don't think our club has ever been as strong as it is now.
It's big. Are we at what, 105?
We're like, yeah,
something like
that. And you know, we have successful fish fry fundraiser. Every club needs a successful fundraiser.
We'll throw a pitch out there. If you haven't got tickets for the fish fry yet, you need to. So, oh, hey, by the way, we saw a few things on here popping up. Your daughter says hello.
No.
She said you're her hero. And Bobby Waldron put on there that he remembers going into Gillsville as a kid into the grocery store. And Brett Garner, what did Brett say? Brett said something too.
I saw you looking at that.
People like her make Smyrna a great place to live. I agree 100%. So we got lots of folks watching there and commenting. So anyway, yeah, the fish fry, you got to come out. We had the estimates I heard were somewhere between 1,700 and 1,800 people came to the fish fry last year, and we raised $165,000 from the fish fry, and every penny of that goes right back into our community through the food bank, through the library, through the senior center, Sam Davis Home, Boys and Girls Club, Habitat for Humanity. I mean, all kinds of different things, and it just does a lot for our community, and it's an awesome event. So, and
we invite people to join our Rotary Club.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the CEO of the business. You can be, used to be like that, but it's not like that anymore. We're looking for people who care about their community.
And are willing to work.
Yes, that want to join and improve our community.
Yeah, so we love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, what's next for Ginny Williams?
Well, I'm 65 years old
No,
now.
you're not.
Yes, I am.
Oh, my word.
And I'm thinking about retirement, but I may have to work till I'm 70. Anyway.
Well, if you retire, what happens to the store?
Somebody's got to take it over. I don't have an exit strategy.
That's not good.
That's not good. I remember, you know.
So you're taking applications? We can put that out there?
Yeah, I'm taking applications. Heather sometimes, you know, she worked a little bit in the hardware store when she was in high school, and but she's in medicine and she's healing people, so she needs to stay where she's at.
Yeah, well.
Healing people. She works in the wound clinic at Georgetown University Hospital.
Yes.
Very proud of her. Very smart.
She's awesome. I haven't seen her in a long time, but I keep up with her a little bit on Facebook. So.
Yeah. That Facebook's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
But, you know, and then I sometimes think, well, I'll have more time to do more things in the community. But I don't have the energy I used to have. You know, I realize that, so I have slowed down a little bit on some of the things I'm involved with. I told David, my husband, I said, my brain just quits after 6 o'clock. I got to get this register checked out. I got a kick out of Alice Millette. She's in our Rotary Club, and we go to church together at St. Luke Catholic Church.
I love Miss Alice.
Oh, she's awesome. And I was wondering, David and I were we were going to meet a new potential member, and we were meeting there, the orientation luncheon, I call it.
Right.
And we were sitting there, and I said...
This is Substation, by the way.
Yeah, Substation 2.
Yeah.
And I told David, I said, wonder if Alice has an exit plan, you know, because it's things you start thinking about as you start approaching 65, you know.
And she sure did.
Yeah, and she came and sat down with us while we were talking with this potential new member, and she got this little smile on her face, and I thought, something's going on with her. And I kind of said something to her, but she couldn't say then.
Yeah.
But David Crockett.
David Crockett,
who's
bought
now
Substation 2.
Yes. Did you know him? Or?
Oh yeah, David and I, we were football managers together. So David and I knew each other real well.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
He's a Smyrna guy too.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. Of course, he's a Vandy fan. I'm not really sure what's up with that.
No, okay.
Yeah, bless his heart.
But he's a member of our Rotary Club now too.
He is. Yeah.
But he bought it, and it's funny. He worked there while he was in high school.
Yes, him and his wife both. Beverly did as well. So.
Oh yeah, his wife too. So
yeah.
they knew the business, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
They did, and they still make a mean sandwich. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I love that place.
Yeah, number 19.
Is that yours?
David likes tuna fish salad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, all right. Well, retirement maybe. So I can't imagine you fully retiring. I would say you're probably going to semi-retire.
So
that's my guess.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because I work 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would love to. I have Sundays off. You know, I go to church, and then the rest of the day I'm slug. You know, do absolutely nothing. Maybe wash some clothes. But anyway, a little house.
Recuperate.
Yeah, recoup. And I'd love to have Saturdays off. But sometimes if I'm sitting there, I feel like I should be doing something. I can't, I don't, that's probably like not relaxing enough, you know?
Yeah.
And people need to learn to relax and
that's hard.
Chill,
I'm not good at it.
Yeah. You feel like, okay, I should be doing something right now.
I just wasted 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But really, you just let your brain rest for a minute.
Yeah, you don't want to waste any time. There might be something needs to be done, you know? So, yeah, that's kind of... Because I thought, I just can't imagine myself really retired because there'll be something I'm involved in.
Well, I don't see you fully retiring.
Something always comes up.
Always. Yeah. There's always something to do.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Gil's Ace Hardware, you guys are going strong. It's the best hardware store in Smyrna for sure, and I'd say North Rutherford for sure.
Okay.
So,
the only Ace Hardware store in Rutherford County.
Is
Can
it?
you believe it? Yeah. Not only one. We could use, another one in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
Laverne's getting bigger too.
It is.
It is. That could be competition.
Yeah, we don't need one in Laverne.
I have customers that come from Nolensville because Smyrna is real close to Nolensville.
Right. And it's an easy drive.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have customers from Nolensville. We have in-store pickup now. You can go to Ace Hardware and you can see if we've got it in stock. And, it might show it in stock and then somebody picks it up, brings it to the cash register and buys it. But anyway, we have that in-store pickup. And then we also have .com where, it's very easy to use. People like it. And so I have customers from Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Murfreesboro, and Nolensville, Laverne.
You're regional.
Yeah, I'm regional now. But I'm always amazed that somebody from Lebanon and Mount Juliet, which we did have a store in Mount Juliet.
But even that's not a hard drive coming some of those back roads or using 840 if you need to. I love to hit 840. We like to go to Lebanon to eat at the Deezus in Lebanon because it's a little bit, it's a bigger restaurant and there's no wait, hardly ever a wait there. And some good food, Yeah, the Murfreesboro one is packed.
Yeah, it's
all
crazy.
The time.
Yeah, and it's a great family business
it is.
too.
It is very awesome.
And then the shopping over there at Providence Place, but
I hate driving through there. Oh my word.
Yeah, they still need to work on their infrastructure. But I'm a former commissioner, first female elected to the town of Smyrna.
I didn't know
Commission, yeah. I only served from 89 to 93 because I was getting married. I had to get back into my hardware business because I, was, taken away from that. Not that I regret it or anything. I loved doing that. And Heather was going to be in high school, and I just thought, I need to do something else with my life,
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have a different way of looking at some things. I think I should buy that in Smyrna. I want to keep the sales tax dollar here. You start thinking like that. So I try not to buy anything outside the town of Smyrna.
Oh, and that's a lot easier now with all the stuff on Sam Ridley and everything else.
People from Murfreesboro just love our Target. They say, you got the best Target. I showed
awesome.
Your Target.
It's enormous.
I said, that's good. I think to myself, we're getting you sales tax dollars.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So
that's awesome. Well, what we're going to wrap up here pretty soon. Tell us what's going on at Gil's Ace Hardware in the next month or so. Some cool stuff going on.
Well, right now we're having a drawing for 2 tickets.
Oh, that's right, for the Steak and Burger with Terry Bradshaw. Yeah.
Okay, they're valued at $200 a piece.
Yeah, I bought a table, so
I'm taking. That told me you did that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
My dad is the biggest Terry Bradshaw fan I know.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have so much fun. So he gets to meet him in person.
He's gonna meet him.
Pictures, lots of
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. My mom said he's like a high school kid. He's just beside himself with excitement.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, it's sold out. It's going to be a great event.
Yeah.
And you know, Boys and Girls Club used to rent the space next to us. And
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I like to give back. I like to support the Boys and Girls Club.
So they did that, and then they rented this little gym thing over here that Smyrna Church of Christ has.
Yes, and then they were at Smyrna Bowling Center until they built their awesome building.
Yeah, it's fantastic. What a great facility.
Rotary, we had a big party.
We did, yeah. And Beth is now our president.
Yes,
so
she's going to be an awesome president.
She is.
Anyway, the drawing's coming up. Come in and enter. We'll do the drawing. I think we're going to do Friday at noon. I have to look at my notes. So we're doing that little promotion, and like us on Facebook. We got great things on Facebook. You can find out about things like that. Like if you need a
and there's a link in this that you can go and check them out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You're so techy.
I'm not. I learn a few things and it makes me look good.
Yeah,
so.
listen to you. And then we also support Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, Monroe Carroll. They call it Monroe Carroll Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, but it'll always be Vanderbilt Children's Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And we're always selling these little candy bars, World's Finest Chocolate.
Yeah.
Plus we have a promotion with a bucket. Whatever you get in that bucket is a percentage off. And that's August 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I think it's 20% off. But it's a cool bucket, big blue bucket. It's got some advertising on it. You're helping the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital.
That's awesome.
I love that Ace Hardware Corporation does that. It's actually supporting Children's Miracle Network. But whatever money you raise in your area goes to your children's hospital.
Yeah.
So
is it possible for me to put a radial arm saw in that bucket? Because I could use a new...
That won't fit. If you want to try that, hey, I can't get this in here.
Yeah.
But if you needed like trash bags or light bulbs, can't get an air filter in here though. Poke it up.
Right. Yeah, that would kind of defeat the purpose. Huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But that's another great promotion we've got going. So.
Very good. Well, Ginny, I appreciate it.
This was fun.
It was fun.
You do a great job. I can tell you've been in radio before.
Well, I always tell people I have a face for radio, so I've only kept half of my face on the camera here.
I have to tell you something funny. So Richard Miller was in my class of 71, and I'd say he's probably the most successful person in our class. When you look at his picture, high school, it looks like a Bill Gates,
Oh, yeah.
He's a little nerdy, but, and, but he owns all the Tri-Green, which is John Deere.
Yes,
Tri-Green dealerships, John Deere dealerships. And he's so funny. He might get to see this video, but anyway, I'll tag him on it.
Yeah.
And I said, I was listening to the radio, and it was a Tri-Green John Deere commercial. I said, he came out of the store, we were talking, he was sitting out Julie, and I said, hey, I think I heard you on the radio the other day. And he goes, yeah, I got a face for radio.
Yep. That's why I've told people that all the time.
That's funny.
So, very cool. Well, I appreciate your time very much. We're at Carpe Cafe, by the way, and I ordered Ginny a coffee drink. What do you think?
Oh, delicious.
It's delicious, huh?
Yeah, delicious.
So, guys, come by and check out Carpe Cafe. Ron Alley, the guy here, another Rotarian. So, great little business. And then, of course, absolutely get out to Gil's Ace Hardware. Go visit my friend Ginny and buy some tools and fill a bucket and get registered for those Terry Bradshaw tickets. That'll be a blast.
That's coming up this Friday.
I cannot wait.
The drawing, yeah.
Yep. So that'll be a lot of fun. All right. Well, thank you, Brett. Brett said that was a great interview. And if you have any questions, you can post them on here. Ginny is tagged on this, so she'll be able to see any questions that they have. And that's it. Jonathan Harmon signing off.